Unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know that last Sunday was the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was there that Sea of Thieves: The Legend of Monkey Island was announced, Rare's next big crossover for our piratical world, and the first party set to release next month, July 20th. A lot of people, myself included, were hoping for a set of tall tales that could tie up all of Sea of Thieves' many story tangents and the Pirates of the Caribbean lore in the game, so we could move forward in one cohesive direction with the Sea of Thieves story and not have a need for a Pirate's Life 3. Whilst it's looking like The Legend of Monkey Island will be a relatively pure Monkey Island story, Mike Chapman, creative director on Sea of Thieves, has confirmed there'll be a link to the wider overarching story. This is great news, which just leaves Captain Jack Sparrow out of the equation. However, in the trailer for The Legend of Monkey Island, the Black Pearl can be seen. I believe that in this 3-part Tall Tale expansion, we will see the conclusion of what was started in Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life. Find out what happened after Jack sailed beyond the horizon and waved goodbye to the crossovers between Pirates of the Caribbean and Monkey Island. These new tales are effectively A Pirate's Life 2, and will expand upon and conclude what was started with Monkey Island in the first set of 5 tales, and wrap up Jack's storyline so we can move forward without the looming need for more crossovers. Let's start off with what we know. This is the Black Pearl. This is not the Eternal Freedom ship. The figurehead on the Eternal Freedom ship set is an actual pearl, and in the trailer it is a dove, like the real legendary ship. You can also clearly see the structural differences of this ship compared to a regular galleon. And no, this isn't a tease for a man of war. You may note there is another ship next to the pearl with the Royal Revenge cosmetics on, Barbossa's ship. This is just a normal sloop with the Emporium set on. And for those of you who say that this is just something for the trailer, if you go back through the Shores of Gold and A Pirate's Life cinematic trailers, all of the shots accurately represent moments throughout the tales. It's a trailer, after all. This will be no different. So, we know that this is the real ship of Jack Sparrow. But what is it doing here? Twice during Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life, we learn that Jack made her a promise. Who is this mysterious her? Is it her? Is it her? Or is it her? Okay, maybe not her. For the better part of 2 years, we've not known who this her is. However, we can take a pretty good guess now the Black Pearl is moored at Melee Island. Let's talk about this lady, Karina, better known as the Voodoo Lady. And yes, for those who haven't played the Monkey Island games, that is literally her name, the Voodoo Lady. During the Monkey Island games, she provided invaluable advice to Guybrush Threepwood, thanks to her extensive knowledge with voodoo curses, magic, and the occult. She claims to have clairvoyance, able to predict Guybrush's fate and actions a number of times throughout the series. She was also attuned with the Force, some mysterious power that allows her to sense events happening away. She often speaks in riddles and obscure phrases, never quite giving the answers Guybrush needs to fully comprehend his situation, which adds to the comedic flow of Monkey Island. She runs an emporium called the House of Mojo, that she moves island to island with. For the better part of the game, she was on the main island of Melee Island though, and she moved back there during Guybrush's honeymoon, so we can probably expect to see her on Melee Island in this expansion. I believe this Voodoo Lady is Jack's mysterious her, which would cross Pirates of the Caribbean over to Monkey Island. It would make perfect sense. She's the biggest magical character in the series, and it would give Jack a reason to be at Melee Island. I know there has been some speculation that inside the greatest pirate treasure of all was Tinkerbell, but I think we can rule that out now, unless we have a 4-way crossover.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
So, wrong with the theory that Jack made the Voodoo Lady a promise. We don't know what this might be or why. Jack stole the greatest pirate treasure of all from Davy Jones, which set up the events of A Pirate's Life, and so there would be no reason why he needs to make a promise to Karina. Perhaps the voodoo lady enchanted the treasure to be magical and she needs something done for her in return? What if Jack made a deal with the voodoo lady like he did with Davy Jones and now she requires payment in some form? I think this is actually quite probable as a reason why the Black Pearl is at Melee Island. Otherwise he would have no way to get back to his universe if he just gave the treasure to her to keep in return for whatever he did for him. So, we've now established Sparrow will be involved. There are a couple ways Jack's conclusion could play out. The first is that Jack just has a short cameo somewhere, similar to how Monkey Island had one in A Pirate's Life, that will tie up loose ends. Tit for tat, I guess, but considering how these tales are the most sophisticated and longest we've ever gotten from Sea of Thieves, and Rare know how many people love Pirates of the Caribbean and know that A Pirate's Life needs tying up, I think we'll be seeing something along the lines of the crew of the Black Pearl being part of the final battle, and who we'll see at the end of the arc to conclude the adventure, like Pendragon Eli Slate and Roseland George in A Pirate's Life. At the end of the legend in Monkey Island, could we see Guybrush and Elaine join Jack's ship to go back to their universe? It's still not clear how they got to the Sea of Thieves, or how they might get back. And Jack has the greatest pirate treasure of all. Another thing that also hasn't been properly explained yet is why we're going on these tales, who our route quest giver is going to be. What if the tales actually start with us going in search of Jack, but we then get swept away by the voodoo lady to help Guybrush and help him defeat LeChuck? Or even better, we have to save Guybrush to help save Jack. What if Jack's been captured by LeChuck and co after going to fulfill his debt to the voodoo lady? Stan's got his ship, and it's up to us to go and save Guybrush Threepwood and enlist his help to fight LeChuck and save both Guybrush and Jack Sparrow. Sound wild? Here's the thing. It's been confirmed by Mike Chapman that the quest giver for the Monkey Island tales will be right next to the Castaway. By right next to her, I think it'd be awesome and quite probable that they are actually there together. For me, this has confirmed that the legend of Monkey Island and A Pirate's Life will be intertwined. It's alright if it hasn't for you, but wouldn't it be phenomenal and make sense to have these two quest givers both know each other and both have shared motives? Both are mysterious and they can both take you across two campaigns, both from different universes and both intertwined. The legend of Monkey Island is shaping up to be the sequel to A Pirate's Life that we've all been waiting for. It's time to save the Sea of Thieves again, in the biggest, best and latest campaign from Rare. That does just about bring us to the end of the video. Let me know what you think of all this down in the comments below. Do you think Jack will return? And if he does, how do you think he will? Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, then please do consider leaving a like. It really helps out the channel an absolute ton, and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Sea of Thieves news as and when it comes out. And while you're at it, why not hit the bell as well so you never miss a single upload. But anyways, apart from all that, thanks for watching and I'll see you later.